I just wanted to ask, do I look international enough? Do I look like I'm expecting a guest from over the waters?
We just choose to be optimistic and take it from there.
You know?
How are you doing?
I'm good. It's raining here. Can you hear the rain?
No. I
okay,
can't hear
good.
anything. I just hear you, actually.
Good, because my studio doesn't have a ceiling, so the rain is like very loud. Yeah, and I didn't want.
Is it like an ambience thing that you want? Is it like an ambient thing that you look?
Let's say that. Thank you. I'm taking that. It's our house.
Okay. All right. No, I feel you. I know. I'm an artist. I mean, I get to say things like this because I understand.
Oh, the inside jargon was not.
Yeah, you know.
So tell me, Sizwe,
yes.
What have you been up to? Like, where are you and stuff?
I'm in Turkey at the moment.
Okay.
I've been here. This is my second year, going into the third season. Well, it's going to be my third season. In doing the work that I'm doing, basically performing, doing live music at the hotels that are this side. I was approached by an agency that services a lot of the hotels within the tourism sector this side. So that was 2018 December, and then 2019 we came through and then started with the whole program, and up until the whole COVID thing.
The first I got to know that you guys were in Turkey was because of this crisis that you had. So what happened?
Oh, yeah. Look, I don't know if I should start with the beauty of it and then I go into the whole...
Possibly, layer
it. Okay, I think for me, this experience has been great because it pushed me out of my comfort zone a lot, in a sense that I'm performing every single day for an hour and 30 minutes.
Wow.
So from a performance aspect, coming from an Adventist background where you're only really like singing for amen and hallelujah, and which is great in its own right, to singing to people, to singing like for people for an hour and 30 minutes every single day, from different places of the world, Russia, Ukraine, Turkish, English. So all of those people have a different taste in music. And in terms of the music that you deliver to them, you need to have a broad playlist. And also having learned that coming from South Africa, we really focus on the American top 40, whereas Europe doesn't care about the American top 40. They've got their own music, and you need to understand that they like listen to that music. So with that experience on its own, it's been great to learn more music for performance, for like repertoire. I can literally walk into any karaoke at this point in time and I'll be like, yeah, I'm your guy, I know this, I know that.
And that's the one thing I am so afraid of. Karaoke, I don't oh please, I don't know the songs. Yes, I know of the songs, I can't perform them as a belief.
Exactly. And also just the experience of seeing beautiful spaces and hotels, like performing for 5-star, 7-star hotels. It's just awesome. And the beauty of Turkey itself, I mean, it's got its own history, and the culture here is something to learn about. And we keep learning from the people that are here, how they speak and what they eat, and and all of that. And then so the working wise, things have been great. And then COVID started like January for us here. So COVID came in, and he gave us everything. Like, we were literally having fun working. Okay, I must mention the money is not necessarily great, but it's better than being in South Africa. and what you would get from a norm. Because in South Africa you get gigs and you don't have gigs, and then you quiet for 3 months, and then after 3 months you are in debt, and then you still have to pay when money comes in. So it's that. So I would say it's like it's been quite a stable like salary, because musicians don't know anything about salary. We just know gig money. I'm going to a gig, I'm gonna get paid this much, and that's it. So I think the whole thing of getting to work and have a normal salary was also another learning thing for me, because I was always been on that gigs and all of that. So now we were working, and then we hear that one hotel has closed, and then the next day the other hotel is closed. And then we had a schedule every week. We have a schedule of which hotel we're going to. So like our because we are 4 in the group. So all 4 of us came up at the same time. So we basically tribute a lot of the Drifters songs. So a lot of the hotels like that have a lot of English guests. We would do a lot of the Drifters, your Motown, and all of that soulful stuff. So you'd find that now, people from the UK, like there's no more guests from the UK. There's no this, and there's no the Russian hotels are closing. These hotels are closing, and then management came to us like, guys, now instead of us having to pay you guys a normal salary, you're going to be like being paid per show, which is like, okay, this is new. Like
the
what's going on?
Shifted, yeah.
The goalpost shifted from that. So I'm taking it there so that you understand where it impacted us first, and then like a few weeks later, we're literally not working. So I had the previous year had spoken to the agency that recruited me, because I had seen when I came in there were a lot of people that were not supposed to be here that were here. Yeah? In terms of I don't know, just not even musically, just like your lifestyle and the way that the thing is you're in another country, and you are there to represent South Africa in whatever you're doing. So the company's reference point now was just like and I'm also sorry to say all of them came from Cape Town. All of them.
But wait. Are you saying the problematic people came from Cape Town?
All of them, Mrs. Brown. All of them. 100% of them.
Lekker convenient.
Yeah. So basically, when I came in, I said, okay, look, what can I do with the access of people that I have in South Africa? Because one thing what was happening, the guys that were here, the agency would start losing hotels, not wanting to book those drifters to go there. And then at that time, we were still learning the music, but like getting to like stabilize some things, and we started taking over the hotels that they were doing. So the company's like, but what are you guys doing differently? And we're like, no, like first of all, we need to sort out the music, because their harmonies were not making sense at all, and they were just screaming on the mics, and it was not musical at all. So for us, for myself and Tandla, my fiance, Mrs. Brown.
Yes.
You must know this. You must know this. for me and Tandla, we just told ourselves, okay, you know what? Let's try and fix and not throw stones, and just fix the whole thing. So we came in. We fixed things like that. So now when they started seeing that, we started having conversations more around the business of, okay, how about we recruit for you? How about we get people that would know the music, and also we would be screening the people that are coming in, because the agency that the guys from Cape Town were coming up with, that guy was literally just hey, I disappeared. Okay, there.
Are you back?
The guy was not screening anyone. It was just a matter of I know someone who knows someone, and then
Mhm.
do their papers,
That
and
speaks
then they
to
come decide.
how,
Yeah.
things are run in the music business. I mean, like, the
Yes,
people who are
yes.
making decisions, I mean, how musical are
Mm.
they? How musically inclined are
Yes.
they? So
All
having
that.
business
Yes, yes,
sense
yes.
is and
Mm.
connections is one thing,
And
but actually
yes,
understanding music and what is required is a
music.
whole other story.
So now, when the hotel started stopping with the whole COVID thing, the company had booked everyone, like all their visas and everything, and they came to Turkey. So what happens is the first 2 months, the first month they do the whole rehearsal thing. Like we train them, get the music down. They know the
Yeah.
playlist, they know the choreography that has to come with it and all of that. And then the second month they start working, and then they start working per show, and then from the third month they go and then they start working. So depending on if they had a 6 months or a year's contract, then that's really up to them.
Mm-hmm.
So from my company, that's as far as I take them, from recruiting them to training them, and then from there on, from salaries and all of those things, they deal with the agency.
Mm.
So now the agency was like, okay, summer season starts in around May, June. So bringing them in around February, March was an ideal thing to do, because they'll be ready for the summer season.
Yes,
And
yes.
then COVID said no. COVID said no. COVID was like, nah, fam, it's not happening at all.
Amen.
So the problem is now the company is not bringing in business. People are not
Mm.
getting salaries, and the people
Mm.
that came were supposed to start working. They're not working. So now it's a huge dent
Mhm.
to the income of the company and for everyone. And now, even in terms of like rental of the place, and which is very now, it's weighing very deeply into the contingencies plans that they had
Mm.
of the company.
Mm.
So hey, it just became because there were like 29 of us then, and then for
Yes, I
instance our
remember the
contract was
29.
going. Yes. So, and
Mm.
also there are a lot of barriers in terms of the language. There's a lot of things they don't know these people. So for us, we would just be the mediator between them and the agency. So it would be difficult now if I'm back in South Africa and then like I've left Lundi, Mandisa, and all of them here. And it's like, dude, you brought us here. Should anything now go, you see, our help was supposed to come from the embassy, and now the embassy was not responding to our emails. Like, you know what? Because we anticipated that there's 29 of us, the company can't afford to bring everyone food,
Mm.
and essentials, man. So we emailed them prior saying that, you know what, can you assist us with this? Can you maybe assist us also with helping us
Mm.
find a repatriation flight back to South Africa? And they would not respond. And
No,
you
man.
will find that now we found that there are other people that are studying here or have been working here that have emailed. There was a lady, for instance, that was here working as an English teacher, and she had emailed the embassy itself to say
Mm.
that, you know what, there's some corruption that's happening here, because the agency that brought her here said that she'll be a teacher. She ended up being a babysitter of some family, and she was almost raped at some point also. So now for them to not be able to respond to that, which was sent to them in February already, and we now coming in March and like, hey man, can you help us? Like we were like not gonna get any help.
Mm.
So which brought the necessity of having like to do the video that we did now, because one, the company can't afford to
I
give people
remember
food
that.
anymore. Yes. Two, the embassy is not assisting us. So the best thing we can do is just go to social media about this and see who can help us, you know.
Mm.
So from then onwards, I can literally say that, yeah, that's when things started becoming better. Like the Turkish government would now bring in food. There's a plan. We're talking to ministers. Like we even spoke to Minister Pando. We spoke to Minister of Arts and Culture. So it just became a whole PR company like overnight,
Yeah.
So which was now like it was, but it also divided us in a sense, because some of the people, when they came here for like, for better opportunities.
Yes.
They'd come here to work for certain things that they want back in South Africa. So now for them to have to go back to South Africa, and it's like a failure in that regard. So now some people were divided into saying, no, let's actually stay, and some people like, no, let's actually go. And now we had to literally have a meeting to say, guys, the company can't feed you. You don't know that if it's going to be able to have shelter in the next month or so. So if you are going to be remaining here, who's going to be responsible for you? And now that I've recruited you here, I sort of have I kind of feel guilty now, because you not guilty, but responsible for you. But now, yeah, we had a meeting and people started coming to the party, and we had one voice saying, okay, guys, we all want to go home. And then that happened. There were funds that we got through I think the church. A lot of people from the church assisted us to funding that came through. So we were able to travel from where we are, Antalya, to Istanbul, where the international flights are.
Yeah.
So all of that, the funds, the cash that came from the people that were assisting us, that helped there. And then I think one person from the state protocol or someone, they're not supposed to share their names with us.
Yeah.
Gave us the go ahead to go back to South Africa. So now we're back at home for like another 5 months. There's no my funds coming in, and it's
so I was just gonna ask. I mean,
thing.
so you actually vrachtig went back to Turkey, wasn't it? Like,
yeah,
scary. Like, I mean, don't you still carry the trauma of that real possibility of running out of food? I mean, that for me is too basic.
Yeah.
And a lot of musicians don't have income anyway. But to run out of food, that's not nice.
Yeah, I think Mrs. Brown, more than the experience of being stranded, more than it being traumatic, I think what traumatized me more was being in South Africa and being under lockdown and not knowing what the next step is. So we're at that stage now. We're basically like in this phase where we're helping companies, helping us. We're helping them get hotels, get things running, and all of that. So that everyone that was here can, because everyone that was here still wants to come back. I get calls almost every day, guys, what's happening? And like telling them, no, at this point in time, we don't want the same thing happening where there's a lot of people and there's less work. So let's try and wait it out until maybe next year, February, when things would be running again. And then. So the trauma of the COVID, I think by the time I got home and I was at home, I saw my mom and all of that, I was fine. And then there was just this silence after that. I'm like, hey, I don't want to get used to this silence, because it's like nothing is happening. Everything is expensive in South Africa. And I don't want to. Yeah.
In a COVID-less world, what you're describing to me as what was meant to happen, or what is meant to happen with the Turkish commission, the Turkish, I'm going to give it a title one day. Whole episode, what was meant to happen is a good thing. It makes sense, actually. It's a great opportunity. That was my first reaction when I heard you guys were in Turkey. That it sounds like a great opportunity. And would you still describe it as a great opportunity?
No, definitely. Look, aside from COVID itself, it's amazing working here. As I said, from also the learning experience, and also from what you're exposed to. There are a lot of similarities to South Africa. At the same time, there are a lot of like greater things that you would not experience anywhere else but in Turkey. That's why Turkey is such a tourist destination that is booming. I mean, their economy is really dependent on the tourism sector. So you must know that they really have great hotels and beautiful spaces. So, and working there and just making people happy and entertaining people, like for me, like it's beautiful. That's what I live for,
You are living your
passion. Yeah. At the same time, there's opportunity because I didn't want to just it to end there. Like it's like a great holiday for 3 years or 4 years, however long I'm doing it. Like there should be opportunities, and there are opportunities. There are people that are coming to me now saying that they want me to recruit for them for other things. So it's growing. I think it's just a matter of COVID now. It's just like making our fingers crossed because we're like all our fingers are crossed. Like, hey, COVID, don't come back. Things are looking up. So it's like to answer your question, Mrs. Brown. Like it's like I would recommend people coming here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you are. I mean, I got to know you as a bass player, of all things.
Yes.
Yes. I know that you can play like a bass guitar, but you can also play an acoustic bass. Which for me is my personal preference. Although I always listen out for a bass guitar anyway. But you sing, you can play the piano, you play everything. I remember in 2018 when we all had to vote for you, and we voted for you. And you got to perform at the Standard Bank. Was it Standard Bank? I don't know if it's Standard Bank, but Joy of Jazz Festival.
Yes, Joy of Jazz. Yes.
So that was like I was thinking, oh my word, Caesar is doing the things that make the pots to be done.
Yeah. And even there, Mrs. Brown, sorry to cut you. Even there, like I was not like when I left Cape Town, I lost my 2 bass guitars while I was in Cape Town. So from then I was not practicing. No, I'm not blaming Cape Town, but Cape Town, like I think we should have an episode of me and Cape Town versus me post Cape Town.
Yes, no, we can do that as an episode,
Yeah. No. So like I got back to South Africa. There was music that I was writing like when I was in Cape Town. Because I was going through a lot of things that time. My dad was also sick. And so there's music that I wrote. So when I got to PE, I formed my own band. And I started singing the music because I had written that music also for other people. So like Pumlani is like, dude, why don't you just do your music? And why aren't you around also? Because like I would be in my little corner there writing a whole lot of lyrics, and then when he's around, it's like, and then we check out the music. And it's like, dude, why aren't you doing this music out? So when I got to PE, I started performing that music, and then people started loving the music. People started I had a young following of that. So the bass guitar days like died down. I started becoming like the vocalist now and all of that. So when the whole Joy of Jazz thing came through, it was based on that that I was pushing. Yes, and also having met a lot of great producers that produced a lot like Jimmy Dludlu stuff and Slylo and a lot of other stuff. So now that he approached me also to say, hey man, let's do your album and all of those things. So like that was what was going on. And then the whole other trauma now of having the music and having like the music tracked down, but not having the funds to push them forward to actually release them.
Tell me about
So I've got music in the archives that are just chilling there, and people are like, dude, when are you releasing? And I'm like, the pressure. No, the pressure and all of that. So I think that's one side that I didn't explore much about Cape Town. The whole me singing outside of Selected Voices and church and all of that. Which I feel could have also worked out well because the space. Yes.
I want it. And CMT.
Yes. And CMT. And like everything that I am singing now, and everything that I even like teach other people.
Okay.
Was it me or was it you? I thought
Suka,
like you have a commercial.
Suka, you just want to blame the developing world, no? We also has internet. We also have internet and it work. So
okay, yes, I would hear you saying certain things and be like, oh, okay, yeah. And then not internalize it, but the brain is like already internalized it. And now when I have to apply it and trying to explain something to someone else, I'm like, hey, Mrs. Brown actually said this. Or Ongama said, or Pumlan said this. So it's those things that I don't really pay attention to when they're actually happening that come back later on and then be like, okay, this is actually where it's fitting most to me now and relaying it to the next person. So I think information that comes from the space that you have opened, that a lot of the people in church, the people that I really look up to, is something that we really don't pay attention to at that point, or maybe we do for that project, but you don't know what it can impact in other things. Yeah. And now that it's impactful there, it just makes something else more beautiful. Because from an harmony point of view, where I'm working, there's not much harmony. It's pop. It's yes, maybe in the Motown it needs a lot of harmony, but when you are able to apply certain things in a space where it would not normally fit and it works, and get the people that don't understand harmony to understand harmony in the way that maybe you would relay it, it's just even more beautiful.
It is.
So it's really important for me, these conversations also, because I can give you back the feedback that Mrs. Brown, actually, you're doing a great job there. Even though we may be giving you hard times and all of that, maybe.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Right, all of that, but we are listening, and it's a continuous thing for the next person, because we pass it on, and that's the beauty of the space of artistry, that or the access that also we have as musicians, is that we can easily relate in one rehearsal or two, and things can be influential to the person's performance, to that person's audience, to the so it's an ongoing thing. Yeah,
it's paying it forward, and there's something about a musician brain. It's like a sponge, so you might not even know that you've taken it in, but when it comes to applying it, maybe even years later, it will come back. So it does show that even with all the drama that you were giving me in rehearsals, that you were actually I'm playing. So from the perspective of someone who's interested in entering into the music, in the mainstream music industry, what would you suggest as a first step? Just a first step.
Look, I think more than anything right now, everything is just moving towards the story. What I mean by this is what the media wants and what mainstream wants is a story. Like, who is Mrs. Brown, first of all? What has she done? The focus is really on trying to make that person to be bigger than that person is actually by their story. So I would say, for a person who wants to enter that mainstream, one, you need to be willing to just stick to your story and know your story, push your story forward. And also, the perks of that would be that it brings out that authenticity that people want. Because with authenticity, people now get to see the real artist, and there's longevity with that. Because I've seen a lot of artists saying that, okay, the first album is their greatest album, and then the albums after that don't follow. But if you are authentic about something, it will forever be received well by people. So I think, yeah, if you're gonna come to us and you're gonna be giving us one hit wonders and all of that, yeah, that's well and good. But right now everyone is on their phones. We're in a generation of
Oh yeah.
like information and communication and social media and all of this. So people want to read about you, people want to know about you, people want to know where you come from. So that can be a good marriage to the music that you do and that they receive also. So
Wow.
that it a full package. There's two things that you need to choose from. One, do you want to be famous or do you want to make money? Those are the two things. Those are the two extremes. Do you want to be famous? Because if you want to be famous, you'll be famous, but it doesn't mean that you'll have money.
Here we go.
You see, so that's the thing. And at this point in time, I've got a lot of people like because before I moved here, I was thinking of a move to Johannesburg, and I've always been scared about that. Okay, why like I don't want to go to Johannesburg and not have something concrete, that I am working towards. So, and whilst I'm there, and I have a lot of friends that are there, and find that everyone is like depressed, but these people, I'm seeing them on TV. I'm seeing them like doing great things, like on TV. They've got a following, like on Twitter, or on Facebook, and all of that. Their pages are booming. But where it matters most, where a musician, like when it comes to ownership of like owning things, like simple things, simple necessities, like we don't have those. From just having like a simple thing where you like the depression comes from rent. We don't know where the next rent money will come from. Those things.
Yes.
So now for me, I would say that choosing between the two is very vital, because now there's a lot of opportunity being in the business of music than being in famous. There's also opportunities in being famous, yes, all of that. But now you get to be in a space where you can make a project bigger because you have access to certain people, and TV doesn't know you, media doesn't know you, but all the people on the groundwork know you, and they see a huge festival that you are doing now. It's like, hey, who did that? Some other guy from PE who did that, and no one like can put a face to it. So, but you've employed thousands of people in that project. You see, so those are the things that I would really suggest that people just choose between the two extremes, or even choose both at the same time. But yay, it's difficult being famous and having the business mind also. You need a team.
But
You need to be like Trevor.
I love the fact that you have said very clearly the same thing that I say to like most of my vocal performance coaching candidates. It starts with knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And being comfortable with who you are, because then you share that. It's no use trying to sing sounding like someone else. I mean, that's a waste of your time. Be who you are. That's what's special. And I love that the music industry is totally supporting that right now. Yes, there are mainstream sounds and so on, but there's this cry for authenticity. And if you cannot bring that to the table, then it's going to be very difficult for you to share your gift. So speaking,
it's like sorry to cut you again. It's like colors. I always say that to people that, look, Mrs. Brown, you bring a certain color to the entire mix. Like without that color that you bring, there's no rainbow.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, without me, there's no rainbow.
So if people can understand that, then it's easier.
Absolutely. And so I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you are not just standing up and singing in a hotel, but you're actually making sense of all of this, making something of this, and you're lifting other people as you go along, other musicians with stars in their eyes. You're lifting them up, and you're able to give sound advice to people. I mean, I wish we had more
yes.
more time to talk, because I can see that there are layers that we need to uncover, you know, because there's a lot
Yes.
that you've lived through, you know, that has
Yeah.
made you able to deal with what you're dealing with now, you know.
Yes.
And
Definitely.
so I just want to credit all the effort
Mm.
that you put in, like all the years, all the grafting, all the
No.
singing, the
Yeah.
sound engineering college, the performing, the
Yeah.
bass guitar playing, piano playing, singing, alles, you know, all of that.
Yes.
It is worth it.
Yes.
I just want to say to you,
Hey,
it is worth it.
I really appreciate that. And maybe I want to say to you also is that it's very difficult to get encouraging words from another musician, from another artist, and that comes from a good place, because we're forever, you know, not authentic or just trying to, yeah, we're forever trying to either compete or trying to, you know, being weird with each other. But it's really, it's rare to get such motivation and such words from especially from someone like you that has gone through so much with the music and is still giving much to the music. And like, you're in the music now full time. I'm like, oh, I left Cape Town the wrong time, man.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing now.
Yo, because I'm so big on access, like the access we have to people that are great. Especially, I think that's one thing COVID taught me, that access to people. Yeah, because now we are in lockdown. It's like, ish, I have to call this person. And now also it's easier to speak to each other because everyone is at home, also from a communication point of view. But access is everything. And what we do with that access builds the future. It builds the industry within the industry, because now we can just relay information and pass on with information easier. And I really commend you so much for your work and for everything that you've done and the journey that you have taken now going forward. I think I'll be glued to your website, and I was spoken to Ntlantla about you also. It's like, oh, I would love to meet her and all of that. I'm like, oh yeah, you'll meet her one day, maybe in Cape Town, but we'll see.
Maybe in Cape Town, maybe in Turkey.
Yes, or in Turkey. Either way. Either way. Thank you, Mrs. Brown. It's been
We'll
a pleasure.
talk again, eh?
All right, definitely.
Ciao.
All right, bye.